What if I told you there's a whole other world, deep beneath our own? A world lit by an artificial sun, where a civilization has evolved past war, poverty, and even crime. Sounds like a utopia, right? Well, maybe not. Today, we are diving deep into Edward Bulwer Lytton's really strange and super influential 1871 sci-fi novel, The Coming Race. You gotta remember, this book tapped right into the anxieties of the time. Darwin's new theories, crazy technological changes, and what it all meant for the future of humanity. It's a journey that starts in a simple mind and ends with a pretty chilling vision of our own future.
All right, so picture this. Our story kicks off with an unnamed American adventurer. He's exploring a deep mine with his buddy, an engineer. They stumble upon this chasm, a literal crack in the world, and the engineer decides to go down and check it out. He comes back just shaken, pale, terrified, talking about something impossible, a steady, brilliant light coming from the depths, and a low hum that sounded just like a city. So, of course, curiosity beats out terror, and the two of them decide to go down together. But this isn't some triumphant discovery. Oh no, this is a journey into total, absolute isolation. Let's just break down how fast this all goes wrong. They start lowering themselves down with ropes, but the rock they tied the line to just crumbles. The engineer plummets to his death, leaving our narrator at the bottom, stunned and completely alone. And before he can even process what happened, this monstrous, reptile-like thing emerges from the shadows. He runs for his life, and when he finally creeps back, his friend's body is just gone. He is hopelessly, utterly trapped in a strange new world. So now our guy is wandering this bizarre underground landscape, and he quickly realizes he is not alone. He finds this massive, almost Egyptian-looking building, and out of it walks a figure, a being that looks human, but at the same time is profoundly, terrifyingly alien. And this is it, his first encounter with one of the Vril-ya. It's taller than any person he's ever seen, with these huge wings folded across its chest. And its face, it just stops him dead. It's not just beautiful, it's this calm, emotionless, sphinx-like beauty that just radiates immense power and intelligence. He gets this gut feeling, this instinctual dread that this creature is packed with forces completely hostile to everything human. And the gulf between them? It's just immense. To the Vril-ya, our narrator is this small, weak creature, his face all wrinkled with emotion and struggle. The Vril-ya, on the other hand, are tall, powerful, and totally serene. They fly around on these mechanical wings, their faces smooth, without a hint of passion. They're just tranquil and mild-mannered, a huge contrast to what they see as our chaotic, competitive nature. They're basically a vision of what humanity could have been if it had taken a very, very different evolutionary path. So how in the world did they get this way? What lets them fly, build these incredible cities, and live with such unnerving calm? Well, the answer comes down to one single, all-powerful concept. So what is Vril exactly? That is the central question. It's the mystery and the engine of their entire civilization. It's the secret to their power, their peace, and their perfection. Vril is described as like a unified field theory made real. You have to remember, this was the 19th century. People were fascinated with new forces like electricity. So Vril is this all-pervading energy fluid that combines electricity, magnetism, and a bunch of other energies we don't even have names for. But here's the kicker. The Vril-ya have learned how to control it, to wield it like the ultimate tool over all matter, living or not. The sheer scope of what Vril can do is just staggering. It's not just a weapon or a power source, it's everything. It can wipe out an army from hundreds of miles away with just a flick of the wrist, but it can also heal any disease. It powers their lights, their machines, it carves tunnels through solid rock, it can even influence your thoughts and control the weather. It is literally creation and destruction held in the palm of your hand. Now, with a power like that, you might expect a society built on fear and conquest, right? But the Vril-ya went in the complete opposite direction. They used its terrifying potential to build a perfect, peaceful utopia, which also happens to be a pretty sharp critique of our world up on the surface. Here's the crucial point, and it's a wild idea. When every single person, even a child, can annihilate an entire army, war basically becomes a form of mass suicide. It's the ultimate deterrent. So, with that threat gone, and with Vril providing everything they could ever need, they eliminated competition. There's no poverty, no crime, no need for police or complicated laws. Their whole society is just built on friendly agreements, not force.
And what's their view of our world? Well, when the narrator tries to explain the glories of American democracy, they are not impressed. They actually have a word for it, kumpash, which pretty much translates to hollow nonsense. To them, the idea of a government run by the masses is just the rule of the most ignorant, a chaotic, primitive system of endless bickering. I mean, the contrast from their perspective is just stark. They see their own system, led by a single wise leader, as a model of unity and peace. Then they look up at us, and all they see is kumpush, constant fighting, everyone scrambling for money and power, a society held together only by force and punishment. They look at us with this kind of serene pity, like we're just a bunch of savages who can't get our act together.
And it's right there, in that pity, in that sense of absolute superiority, that the true, chilling nature of this underground utopia is finally revealed. Turns out, their perfect peace is built on a very, very dark foundation.
The narrator learns from Z, his host's brilliant daughter, about one of their core beliefs. They believed their evolution down in the dark was a process of purification, a trial to perfect their species. And once that process is complete, they're destined to rise from the earth, return to the surface, and just supplant us, to wipe out all the inferior races, which, from where they're standing, is all of us.
And that leaves us with the novel's huge central question, one that really echoed the deepest fears of its time. Is this a vision of a perfect future, a society that's actually managed to eliminate all conflict? Or is it a warning that the relentless chase for perfection and absolute power, all fueled by a rock-solid belief in your own superiority, could lead to a calm, serene, and utterly ruthless extinction for anyone who happens to stand in the way of progress? What do you think?